It's 1995 and Britpop is at its peak, with Oasis releasing What's the Story Morning Glory and Blur following Parklife up with The Great Escape. Alongside Britpop's popularity, Radiohead began to lead the way for the more traditional alt-rock style that the back end of the decade would continue to pursue with the Bends. One band embodied and emboldened the spirit of Britpop more than anyone else. While Blur maintained their middle-class poser personality and Oasis stuck to their careless roots, Pulp were everything that Britpop was.
Oh, shut up.
With the band having a song just about that, being normal people. And Misshapes being an anthemic rebellious song declaring stuff like after 30 years of different class and 24 since Pulp's last record We Love Life, we heard they're releasing a new one. But before I even caught wind of the news, I had a strange relationship with this band. Last December, I was in an Airbnb in Nashville, and we bought the wrong orange juice, so while I was pouring it through a sift, like every normal person would do if they don't like pulp, my brother scolded me and said the pulp is the best part and I'm just throwing it away. So naturally I got annoyed and replied saying the only good thing Pulp have ever done was Common People. He's lived in England for half my life and he still doesn't understand the reference. But I think that says a lot about both of us, that he didn't understand it and I said that Pulp's only good release was Common People. I clearly wasn't intelligent enough to enjoy Jarvis and Co back then. And even though Different Class had a few songs that I'd consider favorites, This Is Hardcore is what really made me fall in love with Pulp months after we got back to New Zealand. And when More was announced, excitement rushed through my entire household because I indoctrinated everyone to become Pulp fans. The ecstasy and anticipation of More was short-lived after my mom got diagnosed with cancer and a surgery scheduled for the day the album came out. But it got rescheduled, so we got to listen to the album all together on the day it came out. And now you have all the context you need. So here's the story of how one of the most iconic bands of the 90s released the best album of 2025. The two singles released before June 6th's official unveiling of More shows Jarvis and Co. abiding by something NF explains best. These two songs perfectly show Pulp's development as a band, and you can go as far back as their third album, Separations, and their opening track, Love Is Blind, to see where their identity and personality came from. When Jarvis Cocker is not falling out of windows pretending to be Spider-Man, his comical and outlandish lyrics, paired with his half-spoken, half-sung delivery, would soon be a staple for the band and seen throughout their music. And the mid-song interludes of Jarvis just having a conversation about pretty much anything is so evident on More. The opening track and first single of More, Spike Island, is a majestically produced dance-pop glam-rock hybrid that shows Jarvis Cocker's signature over-the-top theatrical vocal style in full force. The magnificent guitar work and endless synth layers hold down the track while Jarvis's shouty vocals soar and the extended instrumental eventually fades out. He explains that he was born to perform and that it's his calling, as well as getting into a wrestling match with a coat hanger, and I don't know what that's about. This being our first glimpse into what More would sound like instilled confidence in me because it sounded exactly what the Pulp of the 90s would make. The song is my mom's favorite song of the year and it's my third most played song of 2025 so far. As we shift from a scuffle between a 62-year-old man and a coat hanger, we see Pulp enter their stalker era with Tina.
We're really good together 'cause we never meet.
Jarvis fantasizes about marrying a woman he's never even spoke to for the entire song. He wonders if she remembers walking past him in the snow 14 years ago, and he notices every little detail about her, like the book she reads or socks she wears. The subtle yet punchy drums and violin with a distorted piano provide sonic variety throughout the song, before the vocals take center stage and we reach a climax of picked guitars and frantic drumming. There are two specific moments in the song that hint at the soon-to-be recurring themes of the album. First is the return of Jarvis's usual freaky writing, wishing him and Tina were screwing in a charity shop on top of black bin bags, and that's what he said, I'm not making that up. And the next is another callback to Love Is Blind on Separations. The offbeat and staggering outro that takes much longer than it needs to on Tina is seen on Love Is Blind as well. Even though the opening two tracks of More were good, nothing could prepare me for the pure quality of Grown Up. quite easily my favorite song of the year, and I think it's one of Pulp's best songs in general. Grown Ups tackles the reality of aging with a bouncy piano-driven tune and post-punk-like guitar work. We see references to Tina about Jarvis saying he must forget about her because he's growing up, and also straight-up quotable lyrics like you stress about wrinkles instead of acne. In the middle of the song, we have a spoken word space dream detour where Jarvis talks about the dream he had where they flew to space and had a really good time on a different planet, only for them to lose their memory, look back at Earth and see everyone else is having a good time back there, and then saying, why am I telling you the story? I don't even remember. The only sin of the song is instead of calling Mowgli from the Jungle Book Mowgli, he calls him Mowgli, which I don't think I'll ever forgive. But other than the slight frustrations of that part, the song is the best chorus ever. And Jarvis basically crying, I'm not aging, I'm just ripening before the chorus makes it 10 times more impactful. Slow Jam takes more into an intimate direction, with its slapping bass, minimal tambourine, and piano that marries with orchestral droning. When I first heard the song, I genuinely thought it could be considered a Christian track because of Jarvis saying stuff like, here comes the Holy Trinity. But he follows that line up with, come on, let's have a threesome, baby. The next song, Farmer's Market, is a meditative highlight, and that's just about it. A cymbal-driven drum and uplifting piano meshes with harmonious violin to create a jazzy soundscape, and the raw, unpolished vocals make the stunning soundscape much more authentic. Following that, My Sex is one of the most catchy songs on the album with its robotic drumming and straightforward bass lines. And across the song, we see Jarvis coming out as gender fluid, saying he's not him or her, and that he hasn't got an agenda, he hasn't even got a gender. And the outro of My Sex ticks off another box to make one more song on More uncomfortable to listen to with your parents, but nice moans, I guess, Jarvis. The second single of More, Got to Have Love, blends soul and dance music, and it bursts with color. The gospel-like backing vocals really embed a sense of nostalgia in the song while Jarvis's vocals shine. His potent voice urges us to spell out love and calls us a because we're too scared to. We see a balance of spoken word delivery and funny lyrics, like saying without love, you're just jerking off inside someone else. And although the perhaps Christian themes faded out pretty quickly on the previous songs, the church-like vocals on this are excellent. Background noise launches in, led by an air horn-like intro, flat drums, Christmas bells, and a piano. It's an entirely beautiful ballad led by Jarvis's emotional vocals and show his best performance of them on the entire album. His vocals have a certain Broadway-esque theatricality about them, and they glide alongside the soaring violin. And as he discusses the feelings of infatuation, a steep piano anchors the track. At this point of More, the energy has flatlined, and the rest of the album's focus is telling intimate and personal stories in a slower form. Partial Eclipse serves the role as a symphonic masterpiece, as Jarvis sings, standing with my hands on your hips, you're giving me a partial eclipse, which I have no doubt is a metaphor for an erection. The arrangements of the song are incredible, and the amount of instruments is ludicrous. We have a range of electric, acoustic, and orchestral instruments, and a jazzy drum beat keeps the symphony from going a bit overboard. The Hymn of the North featuring Chili Gonzalez is my least favorite song on the album. It feels a bit too quick in its transitions, and the progressions are very flawed. For example, as Jarvis repeats his lyrics through the minimal soundscape, a sudden organ lifts the entire atmosphere and drenches his vocals in auto-tune, which makes it feel very stuck on. He pours his soul into his singing, but the clunkiness is something I can't get over, and the feeling of it being many songs beaten into one is amplified by the multiple scattered ideas. And as we reach the closing song, A Sunset, we clearly see the recurrent theme of aging and dealing with that. The concept of the album is very evident on this song through lines like, the first rule of economics is unhappy people, they spend more, as well as Jarvis talking about how he went to see the Northern Lights and felt extremely disappointed in them, followed by Jarvis having a sudden realization that finding happiness isn't in money but splendidity in the simplicity of things. He says people say that it's just a sunset and that it happens every day, but to him it's everything. And no matter how hard life gets and how tough aging is, the sun will always rise tomorrow.
Just a sunset, someone said something that happens every day.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more music reviews or anything music related, please leave a like and subscribe. Also comment below what you think of this album and what you'd like to see me review next. I try to upload shorts daily and have weekly long form videos. God bless you and have a great day.